Hi, what's up, y'all? It's Poppin' Cracking. It's D-Boss here to this impressive vid. It's titled Tamar Braxton and Towanda's feud gets worse, and she skips her wedding. Oh, and Porsha and Shamea fall out. Okay, let's see what's going on with them. Let's watch.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Impressive channel. The next season of the Braxtons is going to be pretty interesting because we did hear that there has been a lot of tension between the sisters. Apparently Tony, Towanda, and Trina have an issue with Tamar Braxton, especially Towanda. Now, Towanda did recently get married to her longtime partner Shanell, and it was said that Tamar was not at the wedding. Now, we could assume that maybe Tamar opted to skip out of the wedding, or maybe she just wasn't invited. Either way, she didn't show up, and it kind of shows you how bad things have gotten between her and Towanda. It really does. Now, her not being there probably had something to do with that huge fight they had on set, because it was rumored that Tamar got into a huge argument with her sisters that caused the production to stop temporarily. So that argument probably is the reason why Tamar decided not to be there for Towanda. But her and Towanda have had their issues for a long time. And Towanda doesn't treat Tamar the way her other sisters treat Tamar. The other sisters, they do coddle Tamar, and even though they fall out at times, they still mend their relationship. However, with Towanda, she has set up some boundaries when it comes to Tamar, and she doesn't call her or talk to her if she doesn't need to. And also another thing to consider is the Braxtons do have a cliquish type of nature about them. Right now, Towanda is clicked up with Tony and Trina, but Tamar is left out of the loop. She's on the outside. She's kind of going through what Tracy went through with the sisters. So Tamar is upset by it, and she feels like Towanda is a part of the reason why she's left out. And I think that Towanda is trying to protect her peace, but it's almost as if she feels the need to ice Tamar out completely to protect her peace. And that's not going to really give Tamar any incentive to show up for Towanda. She's not going to show up to her wedding if she feels like her sister doesn't like her or
Tamar seems very toxic, and I'm sorry, I don't believe in being around family just because they're family and you're like, oh no, you need to make up regardless. No, if you're toxic and you want some bullshit, and I've tried to make things right with you many times, but you're continuing to be toxic and on some bullshit, at some point I'm gonna be like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Why would I continue to subject myself to emotional damage and pain at the hands of you? Bitch, fuck you. A family member or not, fuck you at some point. Like, I don't get this sentiment that family over everything. Let them abuse you as much as possible because, you know, they're family. As much as they want to, let them do whatever because they're family, and y'all need to work it out because y'all family. What? No, that's not how that works. And sometimes people are a lost cause, and you try with them, you try over and over, but they're still continuing to be toxic. So then what do you do? And it's so easy for people on the outside looking in to be like, well, you know, that's your sister, and fuck out of here. All right, okay, we're blood, but what the fuck you want me to do when they're the problem? They're the toxic problem. Everybody can see it's them. What you want me to do? You know, so I understand that's how Towanda might feel. Just saying.
Outside of yesterday and today, when was the last time you talked to me?
I don't recall. It wasn't my birthday because you didn't call me.
Your birthday's September. Here we are in March.
I am in a space. I am in a space of I'm just focusing on my relationship and whoever's in my household. I'm focusing on my children. I'm focusing on my relationship.
Trina in your household? Tony's in your household?
They call me. I talk to them every day.
Girl, you don't answer the phone.
That's
Girl,
not true.
Stop. Well, I'm trying to talk to Towanda directly. She said, you know, well, I hit you on Twitter and said congratulations. So that's cool for you to talk to me through social media, and I can't talk to you through social media? Because that seems to be the only way you want to communicate with me. Because I text you, I called your phone. Towanda comes around, everybody acts like it's not cool to be cool with me. And that's what a bully is.
Tamar is calling me a bully because it takes one to know one. Whenever you don't see things Tamar's way, you're a bully. Whenever you confront Tamar, you're a bully.
So Tamar and Towanda do have long-standing issues with each other, so it's not really surprising that she didn't show up to Tawanda's wedding. But I do think it's a shame that they couldn't put their differences aside for one day. And it's unfortunate because they already lost a sister, and you would think at this point that they would realize that life is too short to be at odds with each other. But
I don't think it's fair to keep saying they, and when Tamar, we see over and over again that Tamar is toxic. She shows us over and over again. She's always getting into it with people. She's always being messy online. She's always doing the most. I watched their show maybe a couple seasons. She was always the problem. Always whiny, bratty, going off on people, just doing the most. She's very problematic. So I think that's important to consider.
that's not the case with Tamar and Towanda. Now, I want to talk about this. The 16th season of Real Housewives of Atlanta has been creating a lot of buzz. This is the season where Kenya has been let go indefinitely after being accused of using revenge porn against one of the newer castmates, Brittany Edie. And also, it seems like Porsha Williams is becoming the season's villain because she's in a lot of drama too. Now, she's currently going through her divorce from her ex, Simon Guobadia, which was the same man that she snatched up from one of her other former castmates, Fallon, which was very messy. You had to be there when it happened. But also, she's going through some drama with Drew Sidora because Drew apparently is growing a relationship with her baby daddy, Dennis, and Porsha doesn't like that. Also, she's being accused of being disloyal to Kenya Moore and her longtime friend, Shamea Morton, after she linked up with Brittany Edie. Now, Brittany is the reason why Kenya is suspended right now, and not only that...
Is she, or is Kenya the reason? Nobody told her to do that. I think she put up a billboard of like her corn pictures or something like that.
Brittany made comments about Shamea's child who does have medical issues.
Oh no.
And the fact that Porsha would be hanging out with somebody who made fun of her good friend's child is really side-eye worthy. Like, Porsha is showing that she is not really a good friend. But sadly, this has been brewing for some time now because over the years, Shamea would always show Porsha loyalty. She would support her. She would defend her. However, Porsha wouldn't really reciprocate that same energy. She wouldn't show up for her special events. She wouldn't support her in the same way. She didn't promote her song, Never Had. Also, she didn't defend Shamea when Phaedra sat there and lied on her. So it seems like Porsha was never really that good of a friend to Shamea.
I always thought of her to be like that extra sister. Like, we met through our moms. We took family trips together. When she was going through her divorce with Cordell, she slept on my couch. Hell, in my bed. Then the rumors started, and she didn't help dispel them.
Hey, King, you a motherfucking lie. But you think that too? I mean, you close to both of them.
I got engaged, and she wasn't supportive. And then I got married, and she wasn't there.
Oh.
And I just kept thinking, everything you've done, I've supported.
I like Shamea.
Everything you do in the future, I will support. Because my love for you does not waver. It's unconditional.
Porsha has dogged Shamea out, treated her like and now she doesn't even want to go to girls' weddings. So to me, I'm like, you really need her as your friend.
So as you can see, Porsha does have a history of really not being the best friend to Shamea. And this is not to say that she's never checked up on her or never showed her some support at least, but she just hasn't been as good to Shamea as Shamea has been to her. And a lot of people think that this latest breakdown in Porsha and Shamea's relationship is due to the fact that Porsha is jealous of Shamea. Shamea has always been the sidekick. She's always been the friend to the show, but now she has her own spot on Real Housewives of Atlanta thanks to Kandi Burruss. And she's getting more attention now than ever, and she's making friends with other people like Kelly. And maybe Porsha doesn't like that. She doesn't like Kelly because Kelly called her out for getting with Simon while he was still married. So she doesn't like the fact that Shamea is cool with Kelly, and she's been speaking about her marriage to Kelly, which is understandable, but let's not act like Porsha wasn't talking about Shamea with Phaedra, okay? But Porsha is using the whole situation with Kelly as an excuse to distance herself from Shamea But in reality, I think that she doesn't like the fact that the dynamics of their friendship has shifted. I think Porsha preferred that Shamea was in the background and she played the sidekick role. But now that she's in the forefront and has her own spotlight, I think Porsha might be a little threatened by it. I don't know. That's just a thought. But people like Shamea because Shamea is actually a real housewife. She's married to a wealthy man. She lives in a $9 million home.
Word.
She has it good, okay? And she doesn't need reality TV at all. Honestly, I don't know why she's on reality TV, but I suppose that maybe she's drawn to it because a lot of her friends in the Atlanta scene are on reality shows. So she kind of craves that spotlight.
I would not even want the attention. Listen, if you ain't gotta do this, why would you do this? I would just enjoy my money with my husband in my $9 million house.
Too, but I do get concerned that it might change her for the worse and it could affect her marriage. I don't know. It's the whole reality show curse that I don't like. Toxic. And I hope that Shamea isn't affected by it, but she doesn't need reality TV to get a check. She has it good. She has the life that a lot of these housewives want. She has the lifestyle that Porsha wants. And this is probably why Porsha went after Simon, because she wanted Simon to give her the same lifestyle that Shamea's husband Gerald gives her. So I do think there's an element of competition between Porsha and Shamea. I think there's some jealousy there as well.
That makes sense.
And this is probably why they're not as close now.
And you don't like Shamea. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know if Candy said I didn't like Shamea.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. What I think is that they had some issues during the season and they really don't mess with each other like that right now.
I think what Candy said was she doesn't believe we're as cool as we used to be. And yes, that's true. I mean, it's when you come on the show and you have certain expectations and then things seem to turn on you. Without you knowing, they can change any relationship. So
they asked questions about my friendship with her and if I felt like it was one-sided. And I just told them, like, I can only focus on me. I try to be the best friend that I can be to my friends and hope that it's reciprocated. And when it's not, I ain't gonna do it. I mean, I can't, there's only so much I can do about that. I just want to continue to show up and be the person that I know how to be, how my parents raised me, to be a loyal friend, one that is gonna ride for their friend and to the world. And sometimes that's like a fault of mine. Like, it's just like, girl, like.
You know what? I think Shamea just likes to be liked. That's what I think. Especially by people she actually admires. She wants to be liked, and
maybe that's
there's no
problem.
Issue in that, but that can backfire.
Hey, impressive saying she's speaking some truth, because I've had issues. People on my Patreon, y'all know, I need to stop telling y'all so much of my business over there. But I've had a lot of issues with friends. I don't say a lot, because I have way more positive experiences with friends than I have had negatives, so it outweighs the negative by far. But I have had a few negative, I'll just end it here. But I've had a few negative encounters with friends, and I guess it would get to a point where it's like, okay, why am I even bothering with this person who isn't treating me well? And then I would eventually cut off ties with my toxic friends from the past, but I feel like I did let them get away with murder for a while. And that's kind of a negative trait that I've had that I'm definitely working on and creating boundaries. As much as people think they know me because of my personality online, I am a very chill person and I don't like confrontation. I don't like having issues with people. So sometimes in the past, like, family and friends have wronged me and I would brush it off. Like, okay, they did this. I'll talk to them and tell them I didn't like it, but I would try to move on with them. But at some point, you can't keep people around who are constantly showing you that they're toxic, that they're not going to do right by you, etc. And maybe a part of that was because I'm like, okay, I want to be liked. Maybe that's an issue, but I don't want to say it's an issue because I feel like at this point, after going through that, over and over again, at some point I had to be like, all right, I'm done with you hoes. And by you hoes, I mean the toxic hoes who were, some bullshit in the past. So I feel like now I do have better boundaries up for my female friends. Because, you know, I would always have the mentality that, okay, you know, with men, it's like, okay, you on some bullshit, fuck out of here. But it's like, oh, well, friends are forever. Family is forever. That's the mindset I used to have. But again, at some point, when people keep playing with you, you got to be like, all right, y'all got me fucked up, actually. You don't even have to be in my life. You know, you have to take that stance at some point. And I feel like I probably have been a pushover in the past with my friends and family, but no more. No more, okay? But anyway, interesting hearing their situations, though. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what other videos you've been watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye!